Hello, fellow travelers. Welcome to my channel, Power Moon Tarot. Thank you for being here today. My name is Natalie, and today we're going to be looking at what is Spirit teaching you through this connection, through the connections in your life right now, either with your person or with people in general. You might have some repeating patterns going on. But we're going to look at what is Spirit specifically teaching you through the connections in your life, okay? So in order to choose your pile, I just have to reach there for a second. We have pile number 1, which is the Malachite. We have pile number 2, which is the Selenite wand. And we have pile number 3, which is the Amethyst, okay? And so please take a moment, and oftentimes it's where your gaze first goes and what you're most attracted to. Follow your intuition and pick your pile to determine what is Spirit teaching you about this connection. Now, we're going to have an extended reading as well. If you haven't checked out my extended readings on Vimeo, please check those out. You can purchase the extended reading, and we're going to go deeper into, for each one of these piles, we're going to go into secret knowledge, outcome, and the deeper energies, okay, for each one of these piles. And you'll see the link for the extended reading in the description below, okay? And I'll have a date on all of my videos that have an extension so you can easily identify them. That doesn't mean that you have to watch the video on that date. These readings are timeless, so whenever you find them, okay? With that being said, I'm gonna dial it in here. So let's move aside piles 2 and 3. Okay, see if my pile 2s will, that Selenite wand wants to have a little fun. Anyway, so for my pile number 1s, if you chose the Malachite, this is your reading. Okay, Malachite is a beautiful stone for the heart chakra. And we're going to take a look at what is Spirit trying to teach you through your connection with your person, okay? And if you'd like to purchase the extended reading, please go to the description link below and click on the link to go to my Vimeo channel, okay? So to kick us off here, Spirit, angels, and guides, please help me connect to pile number 1 and pile number 1's reason for this connection, in their connection, okay? Archangel Sandalphon, with you now, okay? Joy and happiness. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty, devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher, all right? Star Child, ready but waiting. Okay, so I already felt this before I started this reading, and part of this reading is I felt prompted to have Spirit help me give this reading today. Actually, Spirit prompted me to give this reading. So I figured ready but waiting here, that there was some patience that needed to be undertaken here. And there is an element of devotion. So this connection, and this might apply to many of your connections, pile number 1, not just romantic connections, but you are very devoted to those that you love. You're a teacher, you're a mystic, you're a priestess, and you are very, very devoted. And you are very patient as well. And, you know, you might not have always been patient, but you've had to learn to be patient, okay? You've had to learn to, you know, be ready to go at any point here, but also be patient and let things unfold in their due time. And I can feel the impatience right now, pile number 1, so I know that, you know, and I get impatient sometimes too, so I know how that is. Look at how the bee is just, you know, burrowing his entire body into the flower, right? Like, there's a need to want to just transform already with the butterflies and the flowers here, to just go into the experience and transform already and just move quickly into the next phase, right? and we have the angels being with you here and now, okay? So there's an emphasis on being happy here and now, and knowing, you know, what you have here and now, and not waiting for some future that may or may not happen with certain people. Certain people in your life, pile number one, may never actually, you know, get to the phase that you need them to go. They might actually never, you know, you don't need them to go to a phase. They need to get to a new phase. And I can see that you teach and lead quite a few people spiritually, and you want to show them the way and open your arms to them, to these people in your life. But I feel like a lot of times other people, they get distracted. Their attention is focused elsewhere, and they get very distracted from the messages and the teachings that you're trying to bring in. And so there's this emphasis from your guides and angels here to always be ready, always to prepare yourself, and be ready to go, but at the same time, enjoy the present moment now, because a lot of this is like herding cats. I just saw the phrase herding cats. It's like herding cats with people sometimes, and this could be romantic relationships. This could be, you know, family relationships, friendships. It can be a lot like herding cats, trying to kind of get others to turn and face the truth, or turn and face certain universal truths or moral principles that you'd like to teach others. Now, you know, there's an interesting relationship between the effort that we exert to, you know, bring others onto the path and our own happiness, right? Because if we spend a lot of time trying to, you know, there's one side where it's good to try to bring people to the path and to bring people to, you know, what you think is a good path for them. There's, you know, there's nobility in doing that, and there's, you know, that's a very good service that you can offer others. But we run into limitations really quickly with that, don't we, pile number one? Because first of all, we might not know what's best for everyone, right? Other people, their souls have different intentions and different missions. Okay, and so they might not resonate with your message, and you know, that's fine. They're going to go off on their own path anyway. It's very important for your own development that you don't let others weaken you with their lack of commitment or their lack of follow through, okay? And that you stay committed to your process, and you stay committed to your change, your flow, and your process. And that you stay in the present moment, obviously, as well, too. And you don't go back over some of these situations and think, well, I could have done this differently, or I could have done that differently. So you really don't want the chain of other people around your neck. I was at an event last year, and they said when you tell others what to do, like point blank, this is what you should do, you actually take on their karma, right? So you don't want to have, like, you know, the karmic weights around your neck of others. And, you know, I'm seeing that you very much could be a leader here amongst women or amongst your friends and family. Like, you could be a leader here. Yeah, you could be showing people how it's done. Here, let me show you how it's done, guys. Let me show you how, you know, to have joy and happiness. Let me show you how to enjoy your life more, okay? So the purpose of this spiritual connection is to, you know, put you in contact with the part of yourself that is happy and joyous and loving, and, you know, also very sticks to what you know to be true. We have justice on the bottom of the deck here. So there is really no bullshit with you guys, pile number one. You have to stick to what you know is to be true without defiling others. Does that make sense? You have to make sure you stay balanced in your relationships with others, and that includes not letting them overtake you with their opinions and not letting you overtake them with your opinions. It's a balance that is very important for you to maintain, because it really just, the balance is the flow for you, okay? When you stay in the flow and you stay in the balance, that, that facilitates this moment of present joy and happiness and feeling really balanced in what you're creating, okay? And so Spirit is telling you the purpose of these connections was so that you remained, ready. Like, some of these connections were teaching you certain things so that you could become ready for next phases in your life. But you're quite an adept, and you want to learn quickly and push into the next phase. Not everybody has the same zeal and vigor for spiritual life as you do. And we have Star Child here, number 8. So you could, my pile number ones, you could very much be connected to other realms and to different downloads and energetic frequencies that other people don't have access to. And, have you ever considered, pile number 1, that people might not have the same vigor and commitment because they don't experience the richness of the connection that you do? Because if you experience a very rich connection through your spiritual life and through your knowledge and through connecting with other planes, and that's a very rich aspect for you, where others don't really get that. They don't really get the same, to do the same as you. So they're just not as interested. It's not as readily available to them, and they don't see it as easily. So I also get that your connections are also to help others transform too. So it's not just what is Spirit trying to teach you, it's what are you trying to teach others as well through your connections. And we have Strength on the bottom of the deck, which is beautiful, just showing you at your most primal self, but also tame. There's a lot of, you're strong, and you've gone through great adversity and change, but you're strong, okay? And and I'm getting that you're not a person who is very bitter and hardened to the world either. Like, there's a part of you that's very graceful and loving and kind, okay? And others can learn a lot, through that. And I think that, part of your lesson here with your connections is to, not get impatient about other people and their journey and what they're trying to do. Yeah, King of Cups. You're a King of Cups here, and then we have Ace of Swords. So not only are you a master in the emotional realms, but you're also extremely discerning, and you're able to pick up on patterns very quickly. You're able to pick up on the self-defeating patterns of others very quickly, and you want to help them move through that energy as quick as possible. You have great ideas and brilliant ideas that you want to share with others. And Spirit is trying to teach you these gifts are yours, no matter who you're with or who you're around. These gifts are yours. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles, they are yours. You have earned it, okay? So whatever you did in a past life, my pile number ones, whatever trainings that you undertook, and a lot of you could be Lyrian or Lyran star seeds here with the Star Child, and then we have the harp or the lyra, the instrument. So, you guys could identify as Lyran star seeds. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and look that up or Google it. It's Lyran, Lyran. Okay, and so, you have a lot of things that you have gained from your connections, all right? Even if they've been painful, and if they felt like just not going anywhere, like things are just not moving along, you're gaining a lot of emotional mastery, and you're getting direct downloads from Spirit. And These are this is yours. You built this. This was your empire. This is your achievements, your success. This is all what you have done, okay? You guys are the ones that have made this happen for yourself, and you've helped others greatly in the process as well too. But I guess sometimes it feels very slow. It can feel very slow to you. Yeah, reverse 8 of Wands. It just feels so goddamn slow. Excuse my language, but you know, sometimes these connections get frustrating to you because you're like, they're just so slow. Reverse King of Swords, yeah. And sometimes people are just not cooperative, okay? And they're not cooperative with what you're trying to, you know, what the energy that you're trying to hold, the space that you're trying to create, you know, the goals that you have and the connections. Sometimes people are just not receptive to that, and it's very frustrating to deal with that kind of energy. So you are the King of Cups, and sometimes when others are coming through for you, they're coming through as a reverse King of Swords, and so you get very tired of having to deal with incompetency. With the Ace of Swords, you've had to be very, you know, Spirit is telling me that these connections have taught you to be patient and realize that not everybody is on the same journey or has the same access. 6 of Wands, yeah, you are a winner, chicken dinner in the spirit world. And, you know, these connections have really helped you become victorious over some patterns in your own self, some darker hidden patterns in your own self that you feel like you have to save everyone, or you have to be, or you derive some sort of identity from quote unquote saving others. Yeah, the trapped, if you were feeling, you know, like, if you were just feeling like you can't escape from the role that you play, and really truly be yourself and take the accolades that you deserve, and take the, you know, take the prize that you deserve. You felt like you had to stay hidden and trapped, and that you had to pretend that you knew less than you knew, okay? Like you had to pretend that you were actually, I get the sense that pile number 1, that you had to kind of like small yourself to be in certain relationships, okay? And that you were involved in some things that were like really beneath you. Yeah, with the reversed Hermit here, you were involved in some relationships that were like, you know, they were just kind of like not honoring of your wisdom. And you're an old soul. If you're a star child and you've been ready and waiting for this lifetime to come in and start doing some work in the here and now, you know, some of these relationships I feel have felt very dishonoring to your own mastery and your own sense of just wisdom, I guess, is what I would say here. There's like not being willing to learn, okay? There's a sense of not being willing to learn. And you might have had to gone through some serious lessons with Spirit on this too, where they're trying to show you certain things about your relationships and you just didn't want to pay attention to it. You just didn't want to have it. You just didn't want to listen to the message. You just thought that, you know, you could change it with your efforts. Yeah, reverse 7 of Pentacles. You thought you could just change it with your efforts and that you could just keep pushing and pushing on it in your own like 3D capacity here. Like you could keep rubbing salt in the wound and something would change, but it didn't. And so what Spirit is reminding you of here is you really need to receive the message about some of these connections in your life, because some of them, pile number 1, are not worthy of you and your time, okay? And I'm not saying that to be an elitist for you or to, you know, prop up false self-confidence that really shouldn't be there. I'm just saying that you have a particular journey to be on in this lifetime, and you want to avoid distractions and avoid things that are going to take you away from the work that you need to be, the crucial work you need to be doing in this lifetime. Yeah, the Empress. So we could have, You know, we could have Tauruses or Libras showing up in this, as well as your person could be a Taurus or a Libra. But with the Venus energy, you know, we see sometimes, and I'm happy the Empress came out upright, because we can see here that she is not taking any shit. She knows what's going on. She is willing to give and to nurture and to share the amazing bounty that she has, both professionally, personally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all of it. She's willing to share that, but only with those who are wanting to match her, you know? And it's different, right, you guys? Because if you're, you know, if it's a romantic relationship, that's different than, you know, helping a client or helping an acquaintance. There's different boundaries for different types of people, and what you're willing to take and accept is what I'm getting here. But I see you being a person who has so much to give, and I think your connections have taught you about how much you have to give, and that if you're not being your full self in your full glory and fully who you are, then, you know, the experience cheapens you as well. You are not able then to discover the things, like you're not able to receive, and you're not able to, you know, go off and explore many different things and move in many different ways and try many different new things with restrictions, right? If your relationships make you feel small, then you're not able to really embrace what's trying to come your way. Yeah, we have the Three of Cups here. So, you know, some of these connections, especially if they were a little more miserable, on the miserable side, should really have taught you about, you know, reaching for more for yourself, okay? And being willing to make the changes and, you know, take help when necessary, make the changes, take help, and reach for something higher in your life, okay? And I feel that's what your connections have, what some of these connections in your life have taught you. And if you want to explore your current connection in particular with your person, then please join me on my Vimeo channel for this follow-up reading for pile number 1, the Malachite, okay? So if you'd like to follow up to this reading, I will be going further, more in depth into your person, okay? So thank you so much, pile number 1. That was your reading. And now we move on to pile number 2. So pile number 2, we have, what is Spirit teaching you through this connection? We have the Selenite wand here. It's got a picture of the moon on it. What is Spirit trying to teach you through your connections, okay? So let's begin. First of all, we have some oracle cards. So let's take a look here. Blue, Madonna and Mothering. Oh, I was feeling that so much with the moon on here with the Selenite crystal. Dimensional Gateway. Warrior Woman. Earth Healing. Patterns. Okay, so, you know, obviously here, my pile number 2, there's been some patterns that have been very repetitive in your life. And they've caused you a lot of anguish, and you've wondered why, right? Why is it this way? We have number 33, which is the dimensional gateway here, and is an invitation, actually. It's an invitation to the party. It's an invitation to the upgrade. We also see an invitation here when an angel is passing an ancient scroll to what looks like a child here. So some of these connections in your life could have been like an invitation to your deeper self, to your deeper knowing of who you are. And for some of you, this does involve children as well, and nurturing and mothering or fathering children. But, you know, there is something very determined and very strong in your soul. We have the warrior woman here, And, you know, if there were any connections that were, you know, put all the responsibility on your shoulders and made you have to take on everything, it's because you're a warrior and you have deep calling in this lifetime and you're able to handle it, okay? You are able to handle some of these, you know, situations and connections that have come your way because you're a very structured person. You have, you know, there are many levels to you. And there's many, it takes someone a while to get to know you. They have to go through, you know, they need an invitation to get to know you. And they need to go through several doorways through spirit to get to know you. And it's because you are vibrating at a level that is just really, really faithful and strong, okay? And there's a definite Artemis Diana energy here too. So if you relate to that archetype, this is definitely, you know, for you. This reading is for you. Artemis and Diana cared for all the creatures of mankind, you know, animals, children, etc., but didn't suffer fools, okay? And, you know, I really see here with this patterns card that, you know, you have had, there's been some generational trauma in your family line that you have carried with you for a long time. And it's almost like you've been trying to soothe this trigger and you've been trying to kind of suppress it in order to, you know, help others. It's like you've almost tried to give the monsters a shoulder to cry on in a way. And that's going to sound very weird, but you've done that in your life. We have blue, Madonna, and mothering here. So you're definitely, your connections have taught you about teaching others, caring for others, giving your life energy to others, and helping others as they move along their journey in a very mothering, nurturing, Diana, Artemis kind of a way. Now, you might not even have children of your own, but you could be a protector and a lover of all of, you know, the innocent creatures in the world. And your connections have really helped bring you into that space. The connections that you've made in this lifetime have really pushed you into that space. You could be a Virgo, for those of you that are watching this, or a Pisces. Doesn't have to be, but Virgo or Pisces or Cancer, I definitely can feel in this reading. I do think that your connections have taught you how to take energy that's very challenging and difficult and transmute it into something more loving, and that you've been able to sit with very difficult patterns and intergenerational trauma in order to transform it and bring it into the light. You are a very peaceful soul, but you don't have, and a nurturing soul, but you also have a side of you that will not give up. You know, if you see that there's an injustice that's been done or someone's been hurt, you will not give up. So these connections your connections have brought you closer into this mindset and have really stoked the fires of this for you. And they've really played into the hand of, like, you know, here you are, you know, being the defender of the innocent ones and helping others and being nurturing and loving and holding, you know, trying to suppress and transmute the negative patterns, right? But sometimes, my pile number twos, these patterns become very worrisome for you, and they do come up. And so part of these connections is allowing what comes up to come up. There's definitely an allowing energy that wants to come through here. Yeah, Princess of Wands. So, you know, these connections have helped you find a more playful and creative spirit, a more childlike spirit. Maybe your connections have brought you into motherhood or fatherhood of a son or daughter, of a fire sign, son or daughter, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But, you know, you have really, you know, spent a lot of effort and time caring for others and trying to make sure that the same patterns that infected, you know, prior generations in your ancestral line do not come forward into the new generation. You want newness. You want newness. You want things to shift. And we have the Eight of Swords. So these connections have somehow taught you as well that if it was just you and only you, things could be almost perfect. But but guess what? When others are involved, they become like the wild card, and you can't control everything, okay, pile number twos? You can't control everything. And so, you know, it becomes this issue of, you know, like whack-a-mole, where it's like, okay, now this is an issue. Okay, I've got to take care of that. Now next, this is an issue, right? And part of learning here has been learning to stand, you know, even in the chaos, and be okay with that. Knight of Pentacles, yeah, you want to restore, you know, order to what's happening, and you want things to progress in a way that makes sense. You don't want a lot of disorder around you. And I can see that you might have met a particular person who was an earth sign here, maybe a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, who was much more methodical and much more, you know, going slowly and taking things, you know, one thing at a time. And that could have helped balance out some of the energy here and given you a little bit more of what you wanted and needed. But yeah, it's not easy for you to rest, okay? My pile number twos, it's not easy for you to take a time out. Sometimes you have to put yourself in a timeout and say, not all of this is my responsibility. You know, others need to take their own responsibility in their situations as well. Not everything here is mine to handle. And some of it needs to be rejected as yours to handle and needs to flow away from you, okay? And get off of you. Knight of Wands, yeah, you could have run into some, you know, some really unsavory characters when you were younger, to some really, you know, bad guys or girls who were very impatient, very demanding, who were selfish, who kind of only thought of themselves, you know, where you were trying to restore the peace and keep everything in balance. This person was really out there and didn't really contribute to the relationship like you did. And I think it exhausted you, okay? I think some of these connections early on in your life could have really exhausted you. The Queen of Swords just tried to come out, so I can see that you're growing up from that now, and that you don't want to put up with that BS anymore, and you don't want it to be a part of your life anymore. Oh, here she is again. I shuffled, and there she is. So she wanted to come out. She wanted me to grab you the last time. And, you know, this Queen of Swords isn't messing around. This is you, older in your life, more experienced in your life, and, you know, kind of putting the kibosh on many situations and saying, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, that shit doesn't work anymore. Everybody needs to take responsibility for their actions. Everybody needs to stand up and take responsibility, right? And we have the Ace of Swords reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed. So yeah, you could have had people around you who just, you know, didn't really want to own up to their truth, they lied about their feelings. And, you know, and this has made you, the Spirit wants, before I start getting all mad about that, my pile number twos, because I will get emotionally involved in that and get mad for you. Spirit wants me to hold off on that. Spirit is putting their hand up as well and saying, hold off on that, Natalie, because Spirit wants to remind you that, you know, some of these connections have served to sharpen you analytically and your discernment. In your discernment, these connections have helped you become sharper and wiser and clearer and very fiercely independent, okay? So do not think that anything was lost here, okay? And I have King of Pentacles right here, which, you know, okay, like somebody who means what they say and says what they do and has a lot of integrity and is able to, and is a good match for you, could very well be on the way to you guys, okay? We have Two of Wands here. It looks like, you know, the road is kind of leading there. And so, you know, a relationship that's more based in maturity and not in this kind of like feckless, like, you know, just, sorry to say it, fucking off. You know, this match could actually be worth something and be worth pursuing. A King of Pentacles and a Queen of Swords. So again, with the King of Pentacles, we see again Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you could have somebody like that in your life who's more mature and balanced and who is able to actually be a decent partner. But we shall see. We're going to go to the extended reading, check that in the description box below. We'll go to Vimeo and we'll take a look at who this person is and what's going on, okay? So thank you so much, my pile number twos. I hope you enjoyed your reading, all right? So our next reading is for pile number 3, okay? Angels, spirits, and guides, please help me tune in for pile number 3. Okay, spirits, angels, and guides, what is the purpose of pile number 3's connections in their life right now? What is the purpose of pile number 3's connections in their life? We have this beautiful amethyst here, you guys, if you picked pile number 3 and you were drawn to that. And we have here some oracle cards to start with, okay? So endings, you are held. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Duality, balance is needed. Oh my God, you guys. Boundaries, okay? Spiritual decree. I love that card. That's one of my favorite. And fragments, okay? Ooh, boy, you guys, pile number 3. So what has Spirit been trying to teach you with these connections? Spirit wants you to know, I feel like I'm gonna cry, you guys. Like, this is deep. I feel like you guys have been going through some tough situations lately, and that, yeah, in your love relationships, and that, you know, shit has been very fragmented and it's been very broken, you know, it's been very, very broken, and it's hurt you, and, you know, you've had to, shore up your resources in order to respond to this, and it's shaken you. I do feel like it's shaken you, and it's sometimes put you in a difficult and challenging space mentally and emotionally, okay? And, you know, Spirit wants to reassure you that you are held, okay? You are absolutely held. And these endings that have come from your relationships are, you know, necessary endings. They were there to move you into the next phase. And they're there to teach you about boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So boundaries aren't just about declaring what they are. We have to defend our boundaries with absolute clarity and vigor, don't we, pile number 3? Because that's part of the deal. It's not just stating it and complaining about it. It's actually doing something about it. And there's been a lot that's needed to be addressed in your connections, because you're a very high vibrational person and you have a lot to offer. You're not even hardly of this world. Look, your head has multiple planets of it in it. We have card 41 here, so you could be around 40 years of age, or this reduces down to a 5, which talks about spiritual mastery and spiritual teachings. And underneath spiritual decree, it's very personal. It's like, I decree this to be my truth and to hold this message toward my heart. And so it is, right, with spiritual decree. And so your relationships have really, Spirit is telling me your relationships have really been about discovering, what is the bottom line for you? Okay, pile number 3, what's the break even point in your relationships? Because there's balance needed. So it's like, one person can't be giving all and the other person is just giving fragments and throwing the other person off balance, right? It can't just be, we compartmentalize our relationships and only allow ourselves to feel whatever pieces, are okay in that moment. We definitely don't want to disassociate here. Spirit is trying to teach you about integration and duality. The lessons of duality are very challenging because it polarizes us and makes us feel like, it's one against the other, right? And I almost see her here as a defensive, in a defensive position. So Spirit is telling you the need to go actually within and decree what is your philosophy going forward on relationships. What is your moral framework for your relationships? What will you and won't you accept, right? And there could be a lot of people are very attracted to your light, and a lot of people are very attracted to your power, pile number 3. And so there's a lot of hands out coming towards you here. And Spirit is focusing on you sustaining your light first and foremost. Before any of these hands reach out to you, it's so important that you sustain your own light. You work with your own Kundalini. You work with your own chakra system. You work with your own physical health and your physical body before you start giving anything to anyone else, okay? Because we have to bring you up into health and into mental, physical, and emotional well-being. You can't really have one without the other, and that's what this fragments is speaking to. So finding out what is really important to you, and then making sure that you are working on integrating those lessons into yourself, okay? So Spirit wants to remind you that you might be a very serious person and you might be very serious about your spiritual growth and where you need to move on your path, but they want you to take a moment too to rest and to breathe and to realize that you are held and seen by Spirit, okay? And that's what your connections are trying to tell you, that at the end of the day, even if all goes wrong and everything is challenging and hurtful in connections, that you are held in divine grace, okay, pile number 3. And so Spirit really coming through with a message of comfort for you. And comfort is actually, when we care about our own personal comfort, that helps to produce boundaries, to connect to our body and care about our own personal comfort. So if there's situations that make you feel very uncomfortable, physically, emotionally, or mentally, then you know that the connection is not one that you should pursue. And Spirit is working on helping you so you can know that through your body and through the thoughts and the mental state that you get after you're with someone, okay? You might be sensitive here too, my pile number 3s. For some reason today, the cards are like very uncooperative. At least these cards, your cards are feeling uncooperative. So maybe you just need a rest, pile number 3. Let's see. Yeah, Temperance. The angels want you to slow down. They want you to take it a little bit easy. You've been alchemizing and doing a lot and blending a lot of opposites here. But, you really want to take it easy too. Yeah, you've been very much in the mind and focusing on what you need to do step by step, your processes, your analysis, your work, etc. And, reverse temperance is just saying, hey, take it down a notch. Take it down a notch. And I also feel the spirit world is telling you, if we don't approve of a connection that you're in, we will tell you. You just have to listen to it. We will tell you. And oftentimes they may tell you through your friends, okay? Like your friend might say something to you and it just triggers something in you and you're like, wait a second, right? So there are many ways that spirit can get a message to you, and it can be from an indirect way too. And spirit's like, we're gonna tell you, all right? Yeah, if something isn't working out, we will let you know, and we will drive home the message so many times so it's inexplicable. Like you cannot miss it. You will get the message, all right? And these connections probably have made you want to move deeper into your own work, into your own mastery, and really ramped up your own dedication towards what you're doing in your life, okay? So that's very important too. And again, Spirit is saying, rest already. The reverse 10 of Wands is telling you, yeah, you know, this has been a lot on you and it's been draining emotionally. It's been very emotionally draining for you, pile number 3. In some cases, these endings and these people that are always wanting things from you, it's taken a lot out of you. And Spirit is telling you, you need to rest and relax more because you're very analytical. You're very in your head. Your mind is working really hard, but you need to take it down a notch and get your health on track and meditate more and clear your head. All right. And yeah, Spirit says ultimately you will be totally successful in all your endeavors. You do not have to worry. This lifetime for you, pile number 3, is about mastery. Okay, you will master and complete the circle in this lifetime. There will be distractions and there will be helpers along the way. Distractions and helpers, okay? Offering things that you don't necessarily need, and then the ways that you need to take care of yourself, okay? So there's gonna be a variety of, your connections are bringing many different things to you. At the end of the day, it's about power and service, okay? And where is your service best directed? Where are you gonna get the most results from that? And how do you really stay in your power and really enjoy yourself in the process, okay? And that's what your commitments are trying to teach you at this time. That's what your commitments, I just said commitments, but I meant connections. So I do see that you feel committed to certain things and situations and people, my pile number 3. So some of these connections, some of these commitments need to be released. With the 10 of Wands here, Spirit is saying it's time to let go of some of these commitments that you've taken on, and you'll be able to tell what those commitments are that you need to release at this time, okay? We will get deeper into your person and your situation in the extended reading, so please click the link below to join the extended reading. And thank you so much, pile number 3. God bless everyone, and stay in the light. Thank you.